Hello, grade threes. I'm currently outside so I can show you our second science experiment. And I suggest you go outside too to do this because it could be dirty. The second science experiment we need to start this week is on the second page that says teacher's notes. So if you aren't, if you're confused about what this video is telling you, or if you're not quite sure, you can follow along on the teacher's notes. There are some other pages behind it, which you will need to fill out and do during the experiment. But we'll get started on what we need to do for the experiment, and then we'll go over the sheets afterwards. So to start, you need 4 containers. Now, I don't care what you use for containers. There's lots of different options. You just need to make sure you have 4 containers. So you could use a carton and cut the top off. That could be one. You could use a margarine container. This is a big one. But you could use the small ones. You could use a margarine container. You could use a can. Oh, there go my notes. A jar. If you actually have planting pots, you could use them as well. Or if you don't have anything, you could simply use a cup as long as your parents say so. And it won't hurt the cup, it's just gonna get dirty. Okay, so what I have decided, let's pick up my notes here before they blow away. You need 4 containers. You also need some water. You will also need 4 of your bean seeds that I put in your package. And I would maybe suggest a piece of tape and a marker, or if you don't have tape and a marker, you could just simply write on the container if it's something you're going to recycle, or if you have a piece of Scotch tape, you could write on that as well. I just suggest writing on them, and I'll explain that just so you don't get your containers mixed up. Okay, so what we are going to do, this experiment is going to prove to us, or hopefully prove to us, what a plant needs to best grow. And we're going to test that. So the first one, I have decided to put it in, what is this? A tomato sauce jar. It is glass. And I have chosen this one because the first item that we are going to do is we're going to put our bean in here, water, but no soil. So that is why I chose to use this container. So what you're going to do, find your container. I wrote on it, and I wrote on it sun, H2O, which is the shortened scientific form of water. Sun, water, no soil. Okay, so I will get one of my beans. It's really bright out here. I can't really see in the video, so I hope this video works. Okay, bean into the container, and now I'm going to add some water. Now, I don't want to drown it. I don't know if you can see, but I just put a little bit of water in there, and we will see what happens. So that is your first one. When I'm done, I'm going to put this in a sunny spot. So I'm going to put it in my, as you can see, there's my experiment number 1. So I'm going to put it in that window because this is the window that usually gets the most sun. So I'm going to put this right by that window, and I am not going to add any soil to it. We'll see what happens. Okay, the second one, sun, soil, no water. Okay. Oh. The second one, you need some dirt. Now, I just went to my garden and I got some dirt. You can go to your flower bed, maybe your mom or your dad or your grandma, grandpa have some extra soil in their pots. I wouldn't suggest to dig a hole in your grass and get some dirt from underneath, but you could, I guess. but I'm sure you probably have a flower bed you could take a little bit of dirt from. So I took now, this is a planting. This is what you often get flowers in if you go to a greenhouse. And what we're going to do for this one is we're going to have sun, we're going to have soil, but no water. So you're going to take your bean seed and you're going to put it in the dirt and not water it, and we'll see what happens. So we'll grab another bean seed. Now to grow or to plant it, just put a hole in, probably a hole up to your first knuckle into the dirt. Put your bean into the dirt and we'll just, oh, it's already covered. There we go. You just cover it up. Now this one, because we need sun as well, I'm going to set this one inside the house right beside my jar. And it will be, once again, in this window where experiment number 1 is. Okay? So for this one, you need some dirt, you need some sun, and no water. You don't need this much dirt. If you just have a little bit of dirt, that is fine. And just stick it in a container. It doesn't need to be this full. Okay? The next one we are going to do, I put dirt into a recycling can. This is a peach can. And for this one, we need water, dirt, and no sun. Ooh. Okay, so let's grab another bean seed. This one's pretty full of dirt, actually. It does not need to be this full. Oh, there goes my beans. Put those there so they don't blow away. Okay, so I have dirt. I'm gonna put a slight hole into my dirt. I'm gonna put my bean seed into the hole. You see it there? We'll cover it up. And we'll put a little bit of water in it just so the soil is moist. We don't want it to be, oops, there. We don't want to do what I just did, which is too much water because it's sitting on the top. There goes, it's soaking in. Now, I don't know if you can see, but there's a little bit of the bean showing again. So we're just gonna cover it up again. Okay, there. I have put water into my soil, so water, soil, no sun. I am going to put this can under my bed. I know the underneath my bed never sees sun, and I know that because I also don't dust under it a lot. But I'm going to put it under my bed and we will see what happens. All right. The last one is everything. We need dirt. We need water. And we need sun. Okay. Now this pot, I don't really like this pot. I can never get anything to grow in this pot, but I'm going to use it because there's already dirt in it. So we will see what happens. My outcomes might be a little bit different than yours just because my dirt isn't very good in this pot. I didn't get this dirt from my garden. It's always had dirt in it, but I will use it and we'll see what happens. Okay, so I have my dirt, put a hole in it, grab a seed, put your seed in the hole. Ooh, that's a big bean seed. Wow. And we will cover it up. Add some water. There, that's a little better. And when I am done, I am going to put it once again in my window here with the rest of, well, experiment 1 and my jar and my sun, soil, no water. And I'll put those 3 in that window and we will see what happens. So that is what you need to get started this week. Beans, well, anything takes time to grow, and we need to be able to talk about this later, so we will start our experiments now, and we will see what happens. And while we see what happens, so here's your instructions, which I just went over in this video. Behind that sheet comes a sheet that says plant needs. Now, this is you taking a guess of what, or a hypothesis of what is going to happen. So what do you think? Here it says at the top, plants have many needs in order to grow. What happens if a plant doesn't have one of their needs? You will plant 4 seeds, one without sun, which is this one, which is going under my bed, one without soil, which is this one without water, and one with all its needs. Okay. So once you're done planting your seeds, what will happen to each plant? So the one with no sun, you are going to write down what you think is going to happen to that one if it gets no sun. So this one gets no sun. What do you think is going to happen to this plant? Is it going to grow? If it does grow, is it going to have a funny color? Is it not going to grow very tall? Is it not going to grow quickly? You tell me. And this one here that says no soil, what's going to happen? Is it going to grow? Is it going to grow quickly? Is it going to grow then die? Is it going to have a funny color? This one here with no water, once again, what's going to happen to it? Is it going to grow? Is it not going to grow? Is it going to be a funny color? Is it going to grow then die? Did I say that already? You tell me what's going to happen. And all of its needs. What's going to happen to this plant? Is it going to be the first one up? Is it going to be the last one growing? Is it going to grow tall quickly? Is it going to be a thin plant? Is it going to be a bigger plant? You tell me, what do you think is going to happen? Now, these are okay. If you end up being wrong at the end, it doesn't matter. This is you starting to think about what's going to happen. It's okay if you're wrong. Actually, a good scientist is often wrong and learns from the experience. Okay? So once you are done planting, fill out this page. The next page is your observations. Now, I would have printed off one of these for every day, but just simply because I didn't want to waste a whole lot of paper, we are only going to have one page. You can use another piece of loose leaf if you want, but every day I want you to write down what you see. So the day you planted, I want you to put the date up here. So for me, it would be June 1st. Then under here, June 2nd. What do I see happening? If you see nothing, write nothing. Then on June 3rd, I see nothing. June 4th, I see a little piece of green sticking out of the dirt. June 4th, it is now 1 centimeter tall. June 5th, it is now 4 centimeters tall. You write down every day what you see happening, okay? And just like experiment 1, if you want to take a picture every day, that's fine too. So you're going to fill out these boxes every day, and we will talk about it once things are actually growing or not growing. The last page here is going to be, we're going to talk about this as a group, and I want you to fill this out, but we're going to talk about this, and this is what you have seen through this experiment. What happened to the seed without sun? What happened to the seed without soil? And we'll talk about this later. You do not need to do this one right away. This will be something you do probably next week. Okay? Watch this video as many times as you need. Pause it as many times as you need just to get yourself going and making sure you're following the steps properly. I hope you have fun with this. I think it'll be a very neat experiment. I think we will enjoy doing it. And if there's any questions, please let me know. Okay? Happy growing, and I hope this all goes well for you. I'll talk to you later.